This is a fictional role play. All people, places, and events are fictional. Hi, Mike. How are you today?
Hey, what up, Miss K? I don't know. I guess I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm okay. So what do you mean by you're just okay?
Well, I don't know. I know we were here last week and we were talking about how I've been looking for a girlfriend. Well, like on Saturday, I went out to this bar and I was, trying to pick up a girl or whatever, and I don't just like didn't go very well. I don't know. I'm kind of over it.
Well, why would you say that it didn't really go well? What had happened?
Well, there was this girl and she was like super hot, and so I walked up to her and just started like flirting with her and like trying to get her to go home with me. And this guy, I don't he was a total jerk. He like said he didn't like how I was talking to her, and I don't like my mom says the same thing. She says that like I don't treat women right or whatever, but what does she know? Like she's an idiot. And so anyway, this guy didn't like it, and so I pushed him, and we kind of got into it, just like punching each other or whatever. I got kicked out of the bar and I didn't get the girl's number. So I don't know. It's just like whatever.
Well, it sounds really frustrating. That was something that you really want, and that's what we've been talking about is a girlfriend is really important for you. But
Yeah.
it sounds like maybe the way that you were communicating with her, other people didn't really understand why you were communicating with her that way.
Yeah, yeah. I guess this guy was like her friend, and like he like thought I wasn't like being respectful enough or whatever. But like I feel like girls like it when you like talk dirty to them.
So
So,
how exactly were you talking to this woman? Can you give me
you
an
know,
example?
yeah, I don't know, like I walked up to her and was like, "Hey baby, like you want to go home with me?" And like she responded and I was like, "Don't worry, girl, like I like curvy girls. Like I ain't got a problem with that." And her friend or whatever, I guess, was getting them drinks, and he like came over and was like insulted. I don't know. I don't, maybe I didn't like read the room right. I don't know. Like we were talking about that last week, and
Absolutely. So I
I
think,
just yeah.
and we talked last week too that this is something that has happened previously before and getting in, not necessarily altercations physically, but you had said that, that when you communicate with women, sometimes it just turns out pretty badly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like, we talked about how, like, I've been wanting a girlfriend and it just hasn't been happening. And, like, I'm 20 years old and, like, I'm just kind of, yeah, ready for something different, I guess.
Well, I think for starters, I know that we didn't really dig much into kind of what CBT was. Do you remember me talking a little bit about cognitive behavioral therapy?
Yeah, you said, like, that, like, if I can change my behaviors, it'll, like, change my results, sort of.
Exactly. So, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to write this down and I'm going to show you that there's this big wheel, how our behaviors, our emotions, and our feelings are kind of all in line with one another. So let me write this down. So can you see this right here? How our behaviors and how our emotions and even how our thoughts are all connected with one another.
Yeah.
So,
I guess that makes sense.
so I want to explain it a little bit more in detail to you too. So, a lot of times when we are frustrated about something or things aren't going the way that we want it to go, our behavior turns into aggressive or whatever. In your case at this bar, you were frustrated because you really want a girlfriend, right? That's your initial thought. You want this girlfriend. The conversation didn't go correctly. And so it turned into being more aggressive behavior. So because of that, I kind of wanted to touch base on what's called like a social learning theory or a modeling behavior. So kind of learning how to communicate effectively to reach your end goal and to get that result of having a girlfriend. That makes sense?
Mhm. Yeah, I think so. Like you're kind of saying like if I like have a thought and then that leads to an emotion and then that leads to a behavior and this like pattern is keeping me from getting a girlfriend.
Exactly, exactly. So I kind of want to take a step back, and I want to pretend like I am a girl at the bar, right, that you were talking to. How would you be communicating with me? What would you be saying?
Okay, so you like just want me to pretend like I'm trying to pick you up, basically?
As if I am the girl at the bar, yes.
Okay. Um, all right. Okay, like, um, hey girl, you looking mighty fine tonight. You wanna like, I don't know, go catch a movie or something?
So if I were that girl in that situation, I think that would be a little bit intimidating because that's the first thing that I heard from someone was, "You're looking great tonight." And for sometimes, that's a little too much, I think, at first for someone. So what do
Okay.
you think of more
My
effective?
mom says like, go ahead,
No, no,
sorry.
go ahead. You're okay.
Like my mom says that like, girls are like really sensitive and so like maybe I'm like coming on too strong or something.
So what do you think a more effective way to, start a conversation with someone would be?
Um, uh, like, hey, I'm Mike. How are you doing today?
No, that you're 100% right. That's exactly the way we'd want to start a conversation because, yeah, like mom said, it wouldn't be starting coming on too strong. You would be just introducing yourself, getting to know that person, and then continuing to move from there. So, and then
Yeah.
you said, "Hi, Mike, how are you today?" So if I was the girl at the bar, I would say, "Hi, my name's Jessica. I'm doing great. How are you?" Then what would you say after that?
Um, um, uh, like, uh, I'm good. I was hanging out with my boys and playing basketball today. What kinds of things do you like to do?
There you go, exactly. And so I think I don't want to dig too much into this today because I think it's just going to be, a lot to work on this whole conversation goal. But I think a good thing moving forward before the next session, maybe what you could do is you could go to the mall or go to a restaurant and see how young men that are your age are interacting with peers, not necessarily only girlfriends, but other peers. That way that you can understand kind of a more effective way to communicate with other people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I don't, it's just like it feels like I'm trying to speak a whole different language, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause like all my friends, like my friend Tyrone, like he gets all the ladies, but like he doesn't like ask girls how they're doing, you know?
Mm-hmm. So maybe, that's a different situation that your friend is in. So I think a good thing, it's called modeling behavior. So looking at, other people, not necessarily only your friends, but seeing other people out in public and looking at how they're communicating with one another. Another thing that you could also do is turn on TV, such as like watching a show that has um, characters that are the same age as you, so such as like Friends. So turning on Friends and seeing how they communicate with one another and how their relationships progress, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I could do that. I have Netflix, so like I can try and find some shows and like go to the mall, like you said. Like that would, I feel like the food court would be a good
Absolutely.
place to like listen in on people or something.
Exactly. So, I mean, I think I don't want you to have to work on a million and one things at once, but of course, through therapy, I want us to take some things home to be able to work on. So, would you be able to pick one of those to work on this week? And then we can come back and kind of model some more conversations with each other next week?
Yeah. I have some time on Thursday. I could like go to the food court and like listen in on people or whatever. Um, and do I like take notes or like
I
what do I
think
do?
I think this time what I'd like you to do is just to watch them. You don't have to take notes this time, but then we'll talk about how the experience went. And if the experience didn't go as well as you had thought, then I think the next time that you do something like this, you should take notes. But for this first time, I want you just to experience it and just to see how other people are interacting. Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like something I can do, I think.
Perfect. Well, then we will touch base next Friday, okay?
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good.
Thanks, Mike. I hope
Thanks.
you have a good day.
Yeah, you